wasn't sure about the sound thing, so hopefully I don't sound crappy. Alright, I am going to be painting a little forest landscape. And I totally lost my reference photo here. Alright, I'm going to print off my reference photo I found on Pinterest. Alright, hey guys, anybody that's watching, my name, sorry for the printer sound here, I'm printing off a copy of my reference photo I'm going to paint. I'm a watercolor artist based out of Iowa, and I also am a handmade paint maker, so the paints I'm using today are all of my handmade watercolors that you can buy in my Etsy shop. So check out the link there at the bottom of the screen, mrshandpainted.com, and I'll take you to my Etsy shop and my Instagram account so you can see some more of my artwork. And I'm going to paint a painting kind of based off of this reference photo. So kind of watch my process and see how I do it. And if I like how it turns out, I will probably photograph it and turn it into prints so that you can buy them in my shop. All right. I am going to be using today a watercolor block, and I like to do this because it's glued down on the edges and then your paper doesn't buckle and I don't have to tape it down. So this is Fluid 100 watercolor paper. It's my favorite to work with, and I'm going to be using some Princeton Neptune and Aqua Elite and maybe some Velvet Touch brushes. I really like Princeton brushes. They're my favorite. And I'm just going to go ahead and start by working on my sky. I'm just wetting down my paper to do a wash in the background. My brush totally has some paint left in it. Luckily, it's pretty much the same color I was going to use, so I didn't wash my brush out very good last night. And you might hear my 5-year-old in the background. He's over in the living room watching cartoons right now, having a little quiet time. Alright, and you can see here on the bottom video I've got my paints. These are all my handmade paints that I'm using. And a lot of the colors I'm going to be using today are from my Iowa Prairie set. They're really great for landscapes. And since I'm a native Iowan, I thought it would be fun to make a set that kind of reflected where I'm from and my love of nature and gardening. And this has got all names in the set that are all native species in Iowa, mostly prairie plants. One's called Recurt's Blue after a butterfly, and then I've got a bur oak and cardinal flower, wild rye, blazing star, prairie drop seed, and oxeye in this set. So they're all really cool names of different prairie plants. So I'm gonna give myself kind of a grayish blue sky here. So I'm mixing together some of this prairie sky and the Recurt's Blue, and I'm just gonna kind of put color in and blend it around. And when I paint landscapes like this, it kind of looks a little weird at first, so it not till the end sometimes does it really come together when I'm starting to build up more layers of things on top. I'm not really sure where this picture was. I just found it on Pinterest and I just kind of liked it, so I'm going with this one. I don't know when I pinned it a while ago. I don't know about you guys, but I just have like oodles of boards of ideas of things I think I could paint one day. There's like something got rubbed on this paper or something. It's a brand new block, but man, I had to take off the top sheet. It was all messed up. All right, I'll put some more blue in there in the middle. I'm really only doing that top 2/3 of it because the bottom is going to be like the trees, and watercolor is transparent, so anything that you put on here, you'll be able to see the lower layers below it. So I'm kind of just focusing on just the sky for right now. Usually I have some paper towels laying around here, but I'm just going to use one of my brush cloths to kind of lift some up to create some clouds. So this is a fun technique if you ever want to try out watercolor, is actually painting on your wash across and then lifting up in some spots to create some fluffy clouds. And this doesn't quite work as well as this paper towel, but I just don't want to have to go find one. And like that, lot really, it's just gonna be that V part in the middle. It's gonna really show once I have all my trees in there. All right, so in the background of my picture, there's like a little mountain area, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in. I'm gonna use that gray blue color again. And I'm not gonna try and like do this exact like what's on the picture, but just gonna use it as a basis for what I want to do. I'm just letting that kind of bleed in there. Make it look fuzzy like it's in the clouds. Drip some water there. Alright, I'm going to do a little quick dry here before I move on so I don't have any more bleeding. Alright, now comes the fun part, kind of just putting in where some blobby shapes of where I'm going to put rocks and water, grass areas. It's going to be fun. Alright, I'm going to load my palette up with a bunch of greens just to kind of get ready here. I'll need lots of lighter greens, maybe some gold in there. Obviously my palette's pretty clean right now. Normally it's not like that. I wiped it off last night because it was just covered in paint. And I usually don't clean it off because I'll just keep reusing that paint over and over again. So let's see here. Get some dark brown too. And I'm just kind of loading up a bunch of colors on my palette so they're ready, and then I can paint really quickly. And start adding in some of this tree foliage that's up here. I'm just gonna use different shades of green, just really mix it up, and I'm mixing some other colors in with the green. Alright, well in my reference photo there's kind of like a little stream that just kind of comes through here. Kind of disappears off. I'm just kind of putting in like the shapes, and then I'll go back over with lots of layers to really bring it in. Like some rocks that come down here. It'd be kind of a rock right around here too. I'm just kind of getting some of my background washes in here. Alright, I got everything pretty much covered now with something so that I won't have funky white areas poking through. I'm going to keep on working on my tree foliage up here too. I know it doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but I'm just building up layers upon layers, and then when I'm done, it will be really cool, I promise. And I think that's what intimidates people about watercolor, is that they'll start and then they feel like they've been painting for a while, and then like, hey, I should have something really good right now. And it's just, you got to remember about layering and just building on top. It's totally different from painting in acrylic or oil. Bring in a bit of brighter green over here too. I mean, my reference photo had a lot of shadows over here, but I just kind of make it my own. I wanted some more color in there. What's fun about trees is you can just really kind of mess all your colors together, and you can just keep adding more blue or yellow and brown, add in just all these different colors just to create depth and texture. And I'm really just like kind of just dabbing the paint on here. I'm not, I mean, you can tell that they're trees even though it's just like little blotches. And I kind of just put some random trunk shapes in there just to give a little bit. Give a little more light on that one. New Dagger Brush. Alright, this is a Dagger Brush. It looks, sometimes they're called sword liners, but they are so cool because they have this really awesome taper. A lot of people will just use them to make grasses and stuff like that, but I actually love using it to make pine trees. It is one of my favorite brushes to use for that. And I just kind of turn it on its side, and then I use that really pointy tip to just kind of help me make these really awesome little thin branches. And I'm really just dabbing it down. And I just got this one. It's a longer one from the Aqua Elite line from Princeton Brush. I just really love these Dagger Brush style brushes. They're really cool. I'm gonna channel my inner Bob Ross and paint some happy little trees. Oh, on a side note, if you have kids and you haven't bought Bob Ross and Peapod the Squirrel yet, I highly recommend the book. It is adorable. My 2-year-old daughter loves it, and so does my 5-year-old son, by the way. They love that book. It's so cute, and it has some of Bob Ross's original artwork in it, which is really cool. So if you don't have that book, I love it. Check it out. as I get to the bottom here, those trees are just going to kind of disappear into the background. I'll probably layer over top some more. One bristle just kind of straight out there. Load up some more paint here. I'm just gonna work on building my layers up over here until I get a really nice dark green over here. I'll add in grasses and stuff like that too. Keep working my way across. Sometimes I like to just do one half and then I work my way over because I have a tendency to put my hand on my paper. And just so I avoid doing that, I kind of try to stick on one side and then I let that dry a little bit and then I move over so that I don't smudge it all up. I'm just terrible at it. I have been painting for several years and I still do it all the time. Especially on a little bit larger paper. I've been doing a lot of postcard size paintings lately, so I haven't been painting as many larger landscape pieces. I'm going to add a few more trees over here while I'm at it. Oh, water. Oh, not all trees are straight. We'll put one that's a little bit crooked, just like in the picture. I'm starting to get a little bit too much water here, so I may dry this a little bit before I move on too much because I'm starting to get a little puddle. And that's going to end up giving me some funky little cauliflower blooms if I let that dry like that. I might give this a quick dry. I'm gonna go in with a smaller round brush now. I'm gonna keep adding some more layers and details over things. Alright, put some little areas where rocks would be. Right here along the little shore of this little stream. We call it a shore when it's a stream. Or is it the banks of a stream? I don't know what the term is for that. Rocky areas over here. Alright, I'm just adding some more trees in, making my way across. A lot of my mountain I painted is starting to go away, but in my reference photo there's really only like a little 1-inch cube worth of it actually showing, so from the vantage point I would be, that mountain really wouldn't be showing a whole lot. So I think the picture is taken from down here on the stream. I don't know if you can see it here in the background. There, my reference photo I'm going with. Bring it a little more yellow over here, I think, because there's more light on this side on the trees. Switch back over to my bigger brush. Some more little rocky areas here. Like I was saying, if you've been watching, I don't know how many people are actually watching, but I was saying that Bob Ross Peapod's Squirrel Book, I love this little line that Bob has in it, and he goes, "It's all right. We can do whatever we want in our world." And so even though I'm kind of using that photo as a reference, I'm choosing to pick the colors of the rocks I want to use and just kind of using it as more of a frame of reference in the fact that the placement or just the idea of there's the sky and mountain and trees, but I'm not trying to make a replica of the photograph by any means. So just kind of making it my own. That's really starting to come together now. You can really see foreground trees, background, here's the mountains in the background. I'll probably do some more work on the sky here too. I don't know, birds or no birds, what do you think? Well, Bob Ross passed away many years ago. So I would just comment, there's a book that my daughter really loves. It's called Bob Ross and Peapod the Squirrel. And it's such a cute book for kids. So it's a picture book. And just shows him painting one of his mountain landscapes with forest and a pond in it, and he's trying to make a home for his squirrel friend Peapod. It's really cute. But I kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for Bob Ross, honestly, because I grew up watching it with my grandma, The Joy of Painting, and he had just this most soothing voice, and I always wanted to paint like that, which is funny because I've never actually tried to paint with oil paint because it was always so expensive, and now I'm just so focused on watercolor that maybe one day I'll do that because I just don't have enough time to have, or the space, because you need a ton of space to dry oil paints. You need to have a lot of space to keep your paintings while they're drying, which I'm lacking. be like a big boulder here. Rocky areas. Darken up this tree trunk here that's poking out. I keep splattering my painting up here. Ugh. I'm gonna add a little texture in here. This is a deer foot brush, and it's kind of flat with a tapered. Can you see that? There. And it's got really, really tight, not as soft bristles as some of your regular watercolor brushes. So I like to do this. I don't get it wet first so that it's just the paint on the top so I can get some texture. And I like doing this for like trees and bushes and stuff because it just adds a little bit more texture for things to give that illusion of foliage in your trees. So I'm just going to add some of that around the painting. By layering all these different colors, it's really going to give that more depth and make it seem less flat, more three-dimensional. And then having the different tones around really gives you a more realistic look, even though, like I said, I'm not trying to make a photograph here. Okay. Work on some of these little rocky areas in here now and try to fill in this area. Need to layer in quite a bit more over here. Okay, now I'm going to start just kind of building up some of the texture areas around here just to make them look less blob-like and just get a little more detail, because you're going to have more detail on forms that are in the front. I'm still going to do a little bit more layering here just to give myself some underwashes for things. I'm just going to dry this up really quick too. All right, so a lot of where these rocks are, to kind of just define where they are, actually is going to be adding all these little grassy areas that are poking up from the rocks. What's up, Hunter? My son over there.
They got me some Sonic stuff.
Oh, yeah?
And I watched the video. And now I only have 5 brick balls.
What?
5 brick balls I got.
What game are you playing?
5 brick blocks that kill a spider.
Oh, boy.
And there's a level 2. If it gets to level 2, I will get something. I will get a thing I don't know. Whoa. This got me. It got me. It got me a little bit. It got me some. It got me some cannons.
Cannons?
And it shoots the bad guys. Let's go find another.
I have no idea what he's talking about. He's playing some game on his tablet. Like a Mario game. Or Tom Hero or something. If anybody else has a 5-year-old, you might know. Alright, I'm just like adding grassy things in here just to give it more texture and bigger grass in the front to show depth there.
It said it was gonna give me 50 something.
50 something? What?
It was gonna give me 50.
You want to show me?
It's gonna get me 50. It's gonna get me 50 spikes.
Spikes? What do you do with the spikes?
50. It's gonna give me 50 springs.
50 springs? What?
And they're sideways. Just put me around.
Now you can really tell these are starting to look more like rocks instead of like little blobs, because I'm adding all those grasses around it and kind of defining the edges of the rocks, which is just a little trick to do.
Yes, I got them. And I beat a hard boss. It got me them.
Yeah.
So where should I place the springs? I'm going to place the springs, Mommy.
Oh, are you just imagining now?
I'm going to place the springs now, Mommy. I'm going to place all the springs they got me.
Okay. And then you can bounce and get stuff. He's pretending he's Mario.
And now it's going to get me.
I'm going to add a little more rocky area right there.
It's going to get me 10 bubbles, Mommy. It was going to get me 10 bad bubbles.
10 bad bubbles. Okay.
Purple stuff.
Purple stuff? What's the purple stuff?
The purple stuff kills you inside the bubbles.
Is it that ooey gooey area?
There's goo inside the bubbles.
Go inside the bubbles. Okay.
And they kill me.
Oh no.
I need to walk.
I know you guys can't see. He's like running around behind me telling me all about some imaginary Mario thing he's playing. Just pretending to himself. Alright, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. One of them is with her dad. They went to go buy shoes. Or laundry detergent, as I just got a text from when he asked me what kind we use. You go potty, buddy? Oh yeah, I have a record for people watching me right now. Thanks, guys. Since I have so many people on here watching right now, my name's Jodie Hand. I'm a watercolor artist in Iowa, and I also make my own handmade paint, which I'm using here to paint this landscape today. And it's available on my website. You can link to my Etsy shop there. That's at the bottom there, mrshandpainted.com. And hopefully if this one turns out nicely, it's going so far so good, I'll make prints of this one, put it on my website. Or in my Etsy shop too. What do you guys think? Should I put some birds in the sky? Just some teeny tiny little ones. Not sure if I want to. Thanks, Cooler 2335. this over here. Whoa, that last step's a doozy, huh?
I got a little bit of Sonic Rhoda.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't run out. It doesn't run out, Mommy. It doesn't run out. It does not run out. Well, there's a chest full of Sonic stuff.
What do you do with it?
There's 7 purple. There's 7 bubbles inside.
7 bubbles.
And remember the goo inside.
And goo inside. Okay. And maybe I've got kind of mishmash right here. I don't really know what to call that. So layer a few more kind of tree shapes in there. I don't know if you can really see it very well in the video. Maybe from the side view you can a little better, but I don't have as nice of a quality camera for my overhead camera. But let's see. This rock is looking weird to me. Sometimes I'll just kind of sit here and look at it for a little bit before I go too crazy, especially when I'm at this point in a painting, because this is when I can start to really screw it up if I keep adding too much stuff. So really try to take a step back every few minutes and just kind of look at it and see where it really needs something before I go, and then I regret it. Maybe I need to just come up higher here. Maybe that's what. Okay. Let's see. Good grief, it keeps splattering. A little more dark over here too. All right, I think I need to stop messing with the trees now before I get too much going on. My mountain is barely visible there. It kind of looks like it's in the clouds though, because I got this little fuzzy effect going on the top. It's really neat. And I do think I want to add just a couple little tiny birds in the sky, just because why not? If I don't like them, when I go to make prints of this, I can always just Photoshop them out.
It got me some different stuff.
Hunter, do you think I should add some birds to my painting in the sky? What do you think? Does it need some birds flying in the sky?
Yeah.
Yeah? Where should I put the birds?
Right there.
Which side? Here, come over here and point. Which space should I put the birds? Here, come over here next to me and point. So you don't fall off the stairs, you goof. Where should I put?
There.
You think way up here in the middle? Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. How many birds should we do? Three?
3 right here.
3 right there. Okay. We'll do 3 birds.
Like black, like that.
Yeah, with this black, because it's going to be like their shadow or their silhouette. So right here?
Yeah.
Where should I put the next one? Kind of flying right below it?
Yeah. And
maybe right here?
there.
How's that look?
And can you make...
Should we do a couple more over here?
Yeah.
No?
But
Is that enough birds?
yes.
What do you guys think that are watching? Do we do more birds or no? People are watching the video, watching Mommy paint.
Can you make some pretty clouds?
Well, there's kind of clouds up here.
No, I can't see them.
Well, it's kind of like these little like shadow areas are like the sky, and then the white areas are the clouds. You humming? Okay. What?
Can you make a little bit of some gears under? Can you make a little bit of sky gears?
What are sky gears?
They float up in the sky like what? They turn around. Turn around like my finger.
Well, maybe I can do another painting. We can paint a gear. Should we do another painting while we're here? I think we'll set this one over to the side and we'll let it finish drying. And then Mommy can take it off the block. Okay, we'll set this to the side.
Painting got me some Sonic stuff.
Do you want to paint with me?
It got me no.
No, okay. You're my non-painter. You're very opinionated about the paintings, though. Okay, are we going to do, we'll do a little postcard painting now. And let me fix my video so we can zoom in on this one, because it's so small. I wonder how I can do that. Oh, mommy figured it out. Okay. All right. We'll put that there. Should we tape it down? We will tape it down so that it doesn't buckle. Whoops. Bonk. Hey, where are you going? All right, I lost his interest now. I'll do a little landscape postcard now. All right, so the last painting I did was on a watercolor block, so the paper is already like glued down on the sides for you. So now I have to tape my paper down if I'm gonna wet the entire thing. So I'm actually just using some drafting tape, or you know, you can use masking tape, washi tape. That works too. They make special painter's tape that has low tack. So do that. And are there any suggestions anybody watching would like to see me paint? I could do another little landscape, I guess. I don't know if anybody has any opinions. All right, let me see here. How about I do galaxy? I haven't done a galaxy in a while. I'll paint a galaxy. All right, again, I'm using my handmade watercolors. You know what? I'll be right back. I got to change out my water. This is super disgusting, so I need some fresh water before I muck it all up. All right, clean water. All right, gonna wet this whole thing down, which is why I taped it, so that it wouldn't get all wrinkly on me. All right, I am using my handmade watercolors that I make myself in my basement. And I'm going to paint a little galaxy picture here. Maybe with some little trees, a little landscape here. So I'm just laying down a whole bunch of color and then I'll blend it around. And these are all colors from my set called Supernova. It's got blues, purples, and it's really, really great for doing little galaxy type paintings. And I actually have a couple tutorials showing you how to paint this on my YouTube. You can find me on there. I'm Mrs. Hand Painted on YouTube as well, and there's a link to it on my website. So if you want to check out a tutorial on how to paint something similar to this, I do have a couple videos. And I did a live painting with my husband on YouTube last month and showed him how to do this, because he actually used to paint with me a couple of times when I first started doing watercolor. And I would do tutorials for like that Let's Go Make Art company, and I would follow along, and that's kind of how I learned to do watercolor a couple years ago, was by doing that. Let me get some more really dark indigo midnight color in there. And this is like the total magic of watercolor here, is all of this like blending together and bleeding and looking so pretty. And you can really push the color around and it just kind of flows. And one really important thing about doing landscapes with watercolor is just having really good paper and having 100% cotton paper, because you get such a different effect on the wood pulp paper or cellulose paper than you do with cotton paper. So good paper makes all the difference. People say, what should you spend your money on? Paints, brushes, or paper? I mean, all three, but if you really have to choose, pick paper, in my opinion, because you're just going to have, especially if you're wanting to paint landscapes, it's going to be really struggling to get good results if you don't have good paper. All right, I'm going to dry this because I'm impatient. I'll probably do another layer over it. I don't think I want to do another layer over it. I've got really nice saturation there, some really highly pigmented areas. I'm going to go ahead and just add my trees over the top now. Let's get this other paint out a little closer. I have multiple sets of this laying around here since it's my handmade paint. If I run out of something, I just make more. Unless I don't have the pigment, then that's a different story. But all right, I'm going to do some different levels of trees here. I'm making little pine trees. I'm just doing the silhouettes here. Water. I'm just gonna like overlap them too. And then when I'm done doing the trees, I'll add in like some little stars and stuff too. So. This one's bugging me. There we go. Alright, I hope you guys can see that okay. It's a little weird on the light here because it's been so rainy and cloudy here lately that there's that light a little better. Maybe that cooler light, it's easier to see it. Yeah, it has been just raining all week off and on, and it's just so cloudy here, so not getting great natural light, which I usually like to do when I do videos, but don't always get that on the weekends when you can paint. So, all right, I'm going to add like some little stars here. I'm going to use some Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and mine is like super crusty, so I'm going to have to add quite a bit of water to it. Get one of my older brushes here to dig it out with. There we go. Man, I need to add a lot more water to this. It dried out a ton. Ah! There's no water in there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to do some splattering, and you can see my desk is always messy anyway, but if you do paint splatter ever, you want to cover up anything that you don't want to have splattered because it will get everywhere. I actually added some backsplash tile on the back of my desk because I splattered so much paint on the painted wall back there. I really need to get a new bottle of this. This is ridiculous. I don't know if you can see in there how crusted up and crystallized that is. I just don't use it very often, and I've had the same bottle for a couple years, and I think it's time I just bit the bullet and bought a new one. Alright, paint splatters. The more water, the bigger the splatter. The bigger the brush, the more water it can hold, so vis-a-vis you end up with big old splatters if you use a big brush. I'm just going to use my hand to kind of mask off my trees so I don't end up with stars on top of them. And I'm just using a really little brush because I don't want big splatters. I could turn one of these guys into maybe a little shooting star. I totally got that all over my hand from the end of the brush I used to stir it. Maybe do a couple. We can make one a little brighter. Alright, that looks so cute. That's a really quick little landscape, and like I said, if you want to try to paint one and want a little bit more thorough explanation, I do have 2 videos on how to paint this exact painting here. One was a live video I did with my husband where I taught him how to do it, and then I have another one I just did a basic tutorial, and I totally got bleed proof white all over my hand. I do have all these little like little terry cloth rectangles you'll see on my desk here. They're brush cloths, and a friend of mine on Etsy, she lives in Colorado, I believe. She's one of my friends on Instagram too. If you visit my Instagram, I've got her tagged on there. It's Her Arts and Crafts is her Etsy shop, and she makes these reusable brush cloths that are made from terry cloth and cotton fabric, and she actually made some for me with my fabric. This is my design that I have on Spoonflower. I have a bunch of patterns I've made too that I sell few things with. I have a really popular red panda pattern on my Etsy shop, so I have a few things, but I really love using these instead of using up a whole roll of paper towels every time I paint, and I can just toss them in the washing machine or wash them by hand, so they're really great. All right, now the fun part of peeling off the tape to see those nice crisp lines. Oh, it's not very crisp there. It bled underneath. I didn't get it taped down very good there. Oh, fail. All right, usually I do get it a little better, but anyway, there we go. Fun little galaxy painting for you guys. And how about I go ahead and I'll take that other painting off the block now too. Oh, and I think that's about my cue to be done painting for today. I have a 2-year-old home. Hi, Lily. Wait, you gonna help mommy take this painting off the block? You want to say hi? Say hi, Reddit.
I want
Oh, that was cute.
Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna peel this off. Where'd mommy's palette knife go? Ta-da! There it is. All right, we're gonna use this to loosen the glue on the sides of the painting. This turned out so pretty. Hunter told me where I should put the birds in the painting. You see there's little birdies in the sky? And Hunter told me I needed to put them right there. Did you have fun going shopping with Daddy? Did you guys go to Walmart and get laundry detergent?
Daddy done get what shoes see?
He didn't get new shoes at the shoe store? Daddy said it was too busy to go into the shoe store. Did you go in? No?
I got my mask on and go in there.
You did put your mask on. Good girl.
Daddy done get shoes.
Okay.
Daddy needs to get something else.
He'll get something else some other day. Yep, that's okay. All right.
He will get something else.
All right, thanks to everybody that joined me here today. I had a lot of fun sharing my painting with you. And check out my website, mrshandpainted.com, or follow me on Instagram, and I'll post this painting there too. Bye.